What is up, YouTube? James Baek here. Welcome back to another episode of VGC 2018 Baek Battles. Today, we're going to be using the Mega Gyarados team once again with Mega Gyarados, Tapu Koko, Salazzle, Landorus Fairing, Amoonguss, and Aegislash. Let's get started and find some games. So, I've been playing a lot with this team. It's been really hard for me, I think, because, as I said, this team was a prototype, and maneuvering-wise, it's extremely hard. I think in the last game I showed the first battle of the last episode. If you haven't checked that out, by the way, I highly recommend go checking it out. Moving wise was a lot simpler, I think, because of the Intimidate, but it's hard to maneuver against certain Pokemon that just does massive spread damage. Like Landorus, of course, a bit easier with this team, although it can be tricky. But like Tyranitar, for instance, hard to maneuver against those rock slides. Oh, hello, Miss. All right. We're going up against Aaron again. Oh, wow. I'm surprised. Alright, so we're going to see Kangaskhan, Azumarill, Tapu Koko, Snorlax, Gothitelle, and Amoonguss. This is going to be a really interesting one. I can say that one at least. What's my optimal play here? I'm honestly thinking it's Gyarados plus Amoonguss. If he traps me in with his Amoonguss, I get Amoonguss Gothitelle. Well, then again, Crunch is threatening that Gothitelle. This is gonna be a really interesting one. Also, there's a Snorlax. I don't have good answers to Snorlax. We're gonna have some fun. I think the play is to go what? Gyarados Amoonguss? I want to say Gyarados Amoonguss because it does really well against my opponent's team. Because I can redirect. Yeah, it has a lot of options. I think Landorus and Aegislash in the back. I need Landorus for that Snorlax. I don't have much damage output against Snorlax. It's unfortunate. I just don't have much to beat Snorlax, and this is a game that's definitely going to show. So let's see what's going to happen. Because I don't have great ways to deal with Snorlax. I kind of regret not going for Superpower right now, but I'm glad I'm keeping Clear Smog. I still have to Clear Smog. I was going to switch it to Energy Ball after this because Swampert destroys my team otherwise. But, alright, let's have a good game. Kangaskhan, Tapu Koko going to lead, okay. Against Gyarados and Amoonguss, okay. Not the worst case in the world, definitely not. You're probably just gonna fake out Amoonguss, and honestly, I would see Gale Havoc into the Gyarados slot. I think the play is to go my Landorus, and honestly, just try to, I guess, Clear Smog the Tapu Koko, because Landorus is a good switch. I can threaten a Scarf Earthquake the following turn and then switch into my Gyarados, which could be pretty big. So we're going to see Kangaskhan Tapu Koko. It's not exactly a lead I was expecting, to be honest. Well, no setup is really good for me right here, because setup is really scary right here. So luckily I do have Amoonguss with Clear Smog, which can help. I just wonder what he has in the back, though. Gothitelle can trap me in. I do have U-Turn, which is pretty good, but yeah, I can't sport a Gothitelle, which is a problem. I will go Landorus, and I do want to keep up momentum by going for a U-turn because I don't want to let Kangaskhan get an Ice Punch potentially on me. So I will just go for that Clear Smog into the Tapu Koko slot this turn, as I'm pretty sure Fake Out Gable Havoc would come out. Do you hit Power Ice right away? Not exactly too sure. It would be a really great call if he did, though. And it honestly could be. Ooh, he does go for Hidden Power. Very nice call. Okay. Which I'm fine with. Ice Punch also going to double up, I think. Okay. So that's a really good call on his part, but this allows me to free Belly Drum, I think. The Kangaskhan's also at -3, so that's actually really good for me, as I will get a Clear Smog into the Tapu Koko slot. And yeah, that was a really good read. I could have maybe, I don't know, I could protect it, I guess, but I didn't want to take a Gigavolt Havoc. I will go into Gyarados, though. Losing the knockoff pressure is really big. But not the worst case, I guess. I'm just gonna Dragon Dance in regular form, I think, and just Rage Powder. If I can get Gyarados set up, I think I can win. The Kangaskhan's also really weakened here. Yeah, like, -3 Kangaskhan along with the Coco. I need to get +2 though to outspeed the Coco. That's the problem with running this kind of Gyarados set that I do have. At least I will be able to threaten Gothitelle in the future, which is good. Snorlax is actually going to come out. Okay. And I will Rage Powder because I don't want to take a Thunderbolt. You might HP Ice here, but I think that would be fine. As you're going to Gleam here. Okay. So I will Dragon Dance up. How much does +2 Crunch do to Snorlax? Honestly, he might be conditioning me to not go for Rage Powder this turn, but I always Rage Powder here, no matter what. It might come down to an Amoonguss Snorlax speed tie. That could be scary. Yeah, a Snorlax speed tie would be really scary to deal with. I always Dragon Dance, though, and Rage Powder here. It's a safe play right here. I kind of wish I'd not Min-Speed Amoonguss now. Because we might speed tie with the Snorlax, and then it might come down to, does he get the speed tie or not? Let's see what my opponent decides to do here. Gyarados is my only damage output against the entire team, because I don't have anything that can really do well against it. So I'm going to Rage Powder here. He does throw off the Gigavolt Havoc, so I do call this correctly. So I didn't want to ever let him get that Gigavolt Havoc off, so I will always go for this Rage Powder here. Wonder if Crunch gets him. Let's see. He's probably just gonna set up a Belly Drum. It's a very free Belly Drum. Does +2 knock him out? If +2 knocks out Snorlax, I'm gonna go for the Snorlax slot. If not, what's my back Pokemon? What's my back Pokemon looking like? I do get a Dragon Dance up. Damage is pretty big. Oh, it's just a return. So not opting for the Belly Drum, that's huge for me, because honestly, I will take that any day. I will take that any day. It's okay. I do have Aegislash in the back. I'm just wondering what his last Pokemon is. +2 Crunch does knock out Tapu Koko, I think, at this range. So my play is always to Crunch, I feel like. But the question is, what do you do with Snorlax? I think I just Crunch and I Rage Powder here. Because I'm not sure if you Belly Drum with Snorlax. I mean, I could just keep Rage Powdering. I think my opponent knows that, so I feel like you would always go for a Gleam here, maybe. Luckily, my opponent didn't go for Gleam last turn, because that could have been really bad. But now we have our +2 Mega Gyarados. Let us set up, my friend. Let's go for this Crunch. Hopefully you don't Protect here, because I want big knockouts as fast as possible. You do Protect, okay. So not too bad, not too bad. What does Snorlax do, though? What does Snorlax do? It might just be going for a return again. Yeah, it's a return into the Amoonguss, okay. I do want to Crunch. I'm honestly thinking of protecting Amoonguss. Is that worth? That's not really worth, in my opinion. I think going hard Aegislash is the play. The problem is my Gyarados is going to be taking quite a bit of chip, so I gotta be worried about that. Also, if you have Azumarill in the back, that's a bit of a problematic Pokemon for me to deal with. So I will retreat Amoonguss, go out into my Aegislash, and always Crunch the Tapu Koko slot. Goes for the double, fails, nice, so I get a Crunch off. At this rate, maybe I should be playing it more aggressively against the Snorlax with just keep going for Crunch. Do you return the Aegislash slot, or do you just target down the Gyarados? You do target down the Gyarados, okay? Like you always should. Return is not going to be a 2-hit knockout, which is pretty big. Could get a Sacred Sword off into the Snorlax, which would be pretty big too. It really comes down to what comes out in the back. I wish I had Ghostium now instead of Policy. So what do I expect you to have in the back? Kangaskhan comes out, okay. I mean, there's nothing you can really do to punish a Protect and the Sacred Sword. I mean, he would, okay, so I don't think he would knock me out with high horsepower. You know, I'm gonna Sacred Sword this Snorlax anyway. Because I could potentially get a knockout onto that Snorlax with the Sacred Sword, and that would be amazing for me, because if I get the, not knockout, but like, high horsepower shouldn't knock out Aegislash. I don't think an Ice Punch plus high horsepower will knock out my Aegislash. You're probably just gonna fake out Gyarados. I don't think you Belly Drum here. If you Belly Drum, that puts me in an interesting position, I think. That definitely puts me in an interesting position. I'll definitely just Protect with Gyarados here, though, because it's always my safe play. As you do Ice Punch the Aegislash. Oh, come on. Oh, okay. Good. And I should be able to get a Sacred Sword off. I'm hoping this doesn't do half. Well, if it does half, I think it doesn't matter. Should do under half. Yeah, perfect. High horsepower. I should survive this with my Aegislash, I think. That KOs. Okay, Snorlax is a bit stronger than I remember. I get to go out into my Amoonguss now, and I get to click Crunch. Honestly, this is still I'm still in a really good position, because honestly, I get to Crunch the Kangaskhan slot, and I think I get to Spore the Snorlax. Yeah, because there's not much you can do. I get to knock out Kangaskhan with Crunch. It's +2 Crunch. I think it should knock out Kangaskhan, and then I get Spore off. Return doesn't knock out Gyarados, so I feel like I'm fine with my position, especially since Snorlax is in range of my Crunch. I could Rage Powder just to be safe, so if he does get like a crit on Snorlax, like it's not a big deal, but like, this is still a close game, as Kangaskhan's going to withdraw here, and Azumarill is going to be my opponent's last Pokemon. Okay. So I do get a Crunch off for really big damage. Okay. I get a Spore into Snorlax, and I do win a Speed tie, it looks like. Okay. That's actually pretty big. If I remember correctly, he's Belly Drum Azumarill, so he can't knock out my my Gyarados. So I think I can just Crunch, and I think I can just Spore the Azumarill slot. Because I think he's knockoff. Because I know Brendan likes to run knockoff Aqua Jet Belly Drum. So I'll go for the Spore. This is looking pretty good for me. Yeah, this is looking really good for me. Because a Crunch is going to knock out the Snorlax. Yeah. Perfect. What's Azumarill going for? I honestly thought he was going to Protect and try to get Kangen. Okay. Just a knockoff into the Azumarill. Trying to pick up a knockout. Doesn't work. I guess Spore off into Azumarill. That's a really big Spore. And yeah, like Mega Gyarados might be coming in through. Okay, Kangaskhan is going to come out. Completely fine. He's honestly running out of time too, so I'm just going to Protect. I'm just going to double Protect. Yep. Double Protect. Then I get to Crunch Rage Powder, I think, just in case. Yeah, I always Rage Powder here. I don't want to risk anything. In case this is a really, really bulky Kang, although, I don't know. I think on his team, I don't know. It could be mixed. Because he could run bulky Kang for all I know. He's really running out of time. Okay, I get the Crunch and I get the Rage Powder. It's actually funny because I think in the first game he also timed out. So Rage Powder going to come out. Or it was either he was going to time out or he was really close to timing out. So I Rage Powder here. I get a Crunch off into his Kangaskhan. Oh, beautiful. Dude, Mega Gyarados pulling in clutch. And he stays asleep, so that gets rid of any chance. But he didn't really have a chance. One, he has timer. This is the last turn. Or is it the next turn? Oh, he ran out of time. But it didn't matter because all I had to do was like Rage Powder Crunch. He couldn't touch my Pokemon anyway with knockoff. Which is a thing about knockoff Azumarill, I think. Like, honestly, Knockoff gets KOs on Amoonguss and Pharaoh, which is really nice, but like Play Rough gets the really solid KOs, I feel like, on Pokemon. Like, you don't need Belly Drum to do damage. That's what I like about Play Rough. Obviously, the miss really sucks when you get it, but like, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like I have been testing both. Belly Drum knockoff is really good, but like sometimes like it doesn't help if you don't get the Belly Drum off and then you're not getting the damage, which Aaron wasn't able to do. He was making really good reads too, especially like he called pretty much everything I was doing, but like I just had such a safe redirection game. So yeah, like there wasn't really much Aaron could do. So yeah, really coming in clutch because I knew my game plan was get Snorlax set up. No Amoonguss and no Gothitelle was huge too. Like, those Pokemon were absolutely huge not to face against. Alright, future James here. Well, sort of future. It's been a day since I recorded the battle against Aaron. And yeah, so, well, I had to go to class right after that battle, actually. I didn't realize the time. But, yeah, so I looked over my match, how I was playing, and I also was able to watch Aaron's perspective of the battle, too. So, like, throughout that match, I thought, okay, I need Gyarados around. Because I want to explain my thought process because I feel like I didn't explain it as well during the battle because I was kind of a bit rushing for time. But, so I thought that I don't have a really good Snorlax matchup. So the 4 Pokemon I felt like were the Pokemon to bring in the matchup. I knew Gyarados plus Amoonguss was probably going to do well. I wanted Landers to knock off a Berry, potentially U-turn. Also that Intimidate to help weaken the Kangaskhan so my Snorlax and Gyarados and Amoonguss can take those hits much better. Force Kangaskhan to switch out and allow me to get a Dragon Dance up. I thought Aegislash was pretty big because I honestly thought I would have lived the high horsepower plus Ice Punch from the Kangaskhan. And then just be able to get a Sacred Sword off, 1 Sacred Sword off, put it under Berry range. And then I'd be able to knock it out with a +2 Sacred Sword and then +2 Crunch. And even if Aegislash went down, it just gave me a free switch into Amoonguss, which was pretty nice. So overall, my matchup, I felt like, honestly, I was just fortunate that he decided not to go for Belly Drum. Because if he went for Belly Drum, I probably had to go for, like, Amoonguss Speed Ties. And honestly, I should stop using Min Speed Amoonguss. This is actually the only Amoonguss I have in game at the moment. So, yeah, I honestly need to change that and not run Min Speed, in my opinion, because every time I use Clear Smog Min Speed, it just gives me so many headaches. Speed time with Snorlax, because it happens to me so many times when I use Amoonguss. But yeah, so that was my thought process. And honestly, I just played safe. I didn't think I had to go aggressive. Even though Aaron was making like every single aggressive read, I felt like if I got my positioning right, I was just able to do well. Even if like he didn't target down my Landers with an HP Ice, I wanted to probably just U-turn out again. Because, or I could have just Earthquake switched into Kangaskhan. Because his Kangaskhan was still been -3. And then Scarf Earthquake, since he has nothing to stop on my since he has nothing to stop my Scarf Landers from KO his Tapu Koko, because I am adamant, I do KO his Tapu Koko, and he has no Intimidate users, I'd just be able to sweep. We got our second opponent of the day, well, not day, but of the episode here. Really interesting team. Thunder's Fairing, Landers Fairing, Gallade looks like the Mega Evolution, Tapu Fini, Pelipper, and Donphan. This is a really interesting team composition. I wonder if it's Discharge, because Discharge is actually scary to deal with. How do I want to handle this? Honestly, I do like... Salazzle's not that great here, to be honest. Mega Gallade gets Inner Focus when in Mega Ball, so I can't exactly flinch it with Fake Out. So not exactly the most ideal situation. I don't really like Aegislash in this matchup, to be honest. I think the 4 Pokemon I want are Amoonguss, Tapu Koko, Landers Fairing, and Gyarados, because Gyarados, obviously the sweeper, Tapu Koko can help support. I think I want to go Amoonguss, Tapu Koko. Pretty much I can Electro Web anything or Volt Switch around other than Landers Fairing and Donphan. And Amoonguss can pretty much help with those. And I always have my own Landers as a switch in, which is pretty good. And then have Gyarados in the back. So I want to threaten the bulky water types. And then if my opponent doesn't lead the bulky water types, I can always just go back into Landorus, which I feel like is going to be an optimal play here. The Mega Gallade is scary though. It's super effective against my Mega Gyarados with close combat. It could have Zen Headbutt, which could be scary for Amoonguss, as well as the potential for Ice Punch for my Landorus. So that's going to be a really scary Pokemon to deal with, and we'll see what my opponent decides to do here. This is a really interesting and cool team. So we're going to see Pelipper Thundurus right away. So this is actually really ideal for me, Because I can just Electro Web right here to Pelipper, and I think just Spore the Thunderous Variant. I guess I could worry about an HPI's Hurricane into the Amoonguss slot, but then I would slow down the Pelipper, and then I'd get a free switch into probably Landorus, which wouldn't be too bad at all. I could probably just go for the Spore, I think, and Electro Web. I could also maybe see myself Volt Switching, but I don't really feel like anything is too big. Sludge Bomb could come out on top of Coco. I'll definitely survive that. Maybe if it's not Specs. But I'm just going to fire off an Electro Web because he might want to get Tailwind up for my top of Coco. So your Thunderous can outspeed. It could be Protect Tailwind, which I could see potentially. But I don't think Thunderous Variant is really threatened here. So I think you want to just go for attack with Thunderous. Of course, you might be worried about a bit of damage or the sleep turn into that Thunderous Variant. So you might decide to Protect or switch out. But right here, I want the Pelipper slowing down. I want it slowing down. I want that Electro Web off, as we do get the Electro Web. Not going to affect Thunderous because of its Volt Absorb ability, of course. And does this bring down to a Sash, or does it just knock out? It is a Focus Sash Pelipper, which we do confirm here, okay? It does lower that speed, which is pretty important. Volt Switch actually going to come out. So what is coming out for my opponent? This is going to be a really interesting switch here. Could be Feeny, okay. Not really too worried about Feeny, to be honest. I'm really not too worried about Feeny. Tailwind or Hurricane? Hurricane. I should survive this. I am really special defensive. Oh yeah, nice. So Amoonguss is going to be able to heal up all that health away, and honestly, I am kind of liking Spore into the Pelipper slot. I'm honestly thinking of just Spore Electro Web because Clear Smog I don't think gets me too much momentum right off the bat, and I could definitely see my opponent switching out Pelipper into the Thunderous Variant. So I think Electro Web plus Spore is the play here. That's also Scarf Thunderous Variant to note because it did outspeed my Tapu Koko, so it's a lot easier to handle. Well, sort of. My only Pokemon that can protect are Amoonguss and my Tapu Koko, as we're going to see the Feeny switch out into Thunderous. Okay. That's an interesting switch. Do you protect Pelipper? No, you don't. So I get pretty much the same thing, except this time I get the KO on Pelipper, and I don't have to worry about, like, huge damage coming out from that Feeny with maybe, like, a Specs Muddy Water or something. So that's actually really good for me, because I am able to get a Spore off, damage this Thunderous, and next turn I could probably just, Nature's Madness, Clear Smog the Feeny for a... I don't know if Clear Smog puts it in berry range after Nature's Madness, but I think that's my play. Oh, Landorus decides to come in. Interesting switch. I'm guessing you're going to click Earthquake, potentially? I don't know. I mean, I'm not really too worried because I can always Spore. I can't Volt Switch, unfortunately, but I could always go my Landorus. I don't want to go Gyarados just yet because I don't feel like Gyarados is the play. Because I could always just switch it out for the Amoonguss slot afterward, because most likely you're going to have your Thunderous Variant lock itself into Hidden Power Ice to target down my Landorus. So I will Spore. You might U-turn here, which would be a really smart call, but I don't really mind that too much. Because I will get Landorus in, get that Intimidate off into his Landorus, so not going to be doing too much here. As, yep, it is going to be an Earthquake. So that's not going to do too much, and now both his Pokemon are fast asleep. His Thunderous Variant hasn't taken a sleep turn yet, so this is looking pretty good here. As yeah, with that Intimidate, it really didn't do too much. As I will be able to get a Spore off and target down the Landorus slot. Great, now that Pokemon is guaranteed a sleep turn. I don't know if he would Volt Switch right away, but I don't know. I think Coco's just a very safe play because I could definitely see you switching out here. So I'm going to go into top of Coco. I really don't care my Landorus goes down, to be honest, because I really don't need it in this matchup. I mean, just getting a hit on Thunderous would be nice with Rock Slide, but otherwise it really doesn't do much as my opponent stays in with both, which is a really interesting decision here as I decide to go out into my top of Coco. Bring out the Electric Terrain. Landorus is guaranteed to stay asleep, so I don't really have to worry about it too much. As Thunderous is going to stay asleep, which is nice for me, as I will be able to get a Rock Slide off into both of these Pokemon. Wait. Oh, right. No, it's not Scarf Thunderous. It's not Scarf Thunderous. It's Scarf Landorus, it looks like. I thought my Coco moved first, but then I realized he Volt Switch after my Electro. People are probably yelling at me in the comment section down below. I just woke up actually, so I do apologize. But that's actually pretty good because I threatened my opponent's... Okay, that's actually pretty good because now I can... Honestly, I'm thinking of just Rock Slide Volt Switch. Is that the play? No, the play is always to go into Gyarados and just Rock Slide, I think. Although I could see my opponent going out into the Feeny right here. That shouldn't matter too much because of the fact that I do have my Amoonguss as a switch-in. I will get a double Intimidate off into Landorus, and if you don't protect with Thunderous or Wake Up here, or switch out, I am in a really good position. As Thunderous is going to withdraw here, and Feeny is going to come out. Okay, so the Feeny is in, the Feeny is now. But the Landorus is locked into Scarf Earthquake, so if he wants to Earthquake his own Feeny, go ahead. Landorus stays asleep. I'm able to get a Rock Slide off, get a bit of chip on the Feeny. And honestly, he's either forced to switch out Landorus or he's forced to Earthquake himself. And honestly, those both put me in amazing positions because now Dragon Dance is looking like a very solid play. I will Dragon Dance in normal form. And I honestly, again, I don't really need Landorus at all for this game. So I got myself in a position where I can Dragon Dance safely now, thanks to it being Scarf Landorus. Either way, I catch a Rock Slide, I get some damage off, or I catch the Thunderous on the switch in. It looks like Thunderous is going to switch in. So Thunderous is going to switch in, not a big deal. I do get the KO on that monster, so don't have to worry about Thunderous for the rest of the game. Don't have to worry about like a discharge or anything. And I get a really good amount onto Feeny, which is superb. As we do see Thunderous go down, I will get a Dragon Dance up. Let's see what the Feeny goes for. Calm Mind, Muddy Water, Moonblast, all those are options. Just a Moonblast in the Gyarados, it looks like. Because you need to weaken it for the Landorus in the back. That did a lot. Is that? That might be Specs. Landorus comes out. It can click Earthquake. He honestly... What's the guaranteed way to win this game? If he flinches me, I'm in a bad position. I think I could just protect Gyarados though and switch out into Amoonguss. Yeah, I think Amoonguss is just a very safe call right here because I feel like as the match is actually going to be forfeit. So I think my opponent thought, oh, I don't really have anything to break through your team. The best I can do is click Rock Slide home for flinches. But even then, like as long as you get one attack off, you can get rid of my Landorus. And then I don't really have much to damage the Amoonguss anyway. So my opponent would have had to get extremely lucky with Rock Slide most likely. And if my opponent didn't have Rock Slide, because I don't think we ever saw it. Maybe he had Rock Tomb instead or something. My opponent really just had no outs. So my game plan, no Mega Gallade. That's unfortunate. We saw Double Genius, we saw Feeny, and then we saw the Pelipper. So we see no Mega Gallade, unfortunately. That would have been a pretty cool mon, but maybe my opponent thought it wasn't that great in this matchup because you know, Double Intimidate kind of stopped it. So yeah, unfortunately. But we do get 2 wins in today's episode. I do hope everyone enjoyed. The game plan there was basically just get Amoonguss to spore whatever's not on the ground. So Landorus, Thunderous, cycle around a bit of Intimidate in case there is a really strong physical attacker. Feeny is kept in check with Amoonguss, as well as Tapu Koko. Electro was really helpful in the matchup. And yeah, that was pretty much it. Then get Gyarados to set up in the late game, and then have something to handle a Feeny, which was my Koko and my Amoonguss. So that was the game plan the entire battle, but I do hope everyone enjoyed today's episode. If you did, please leave a like down below, shows your support, as well as you can check out the rest of my stuff down below. So this is my social medias and all that good stuff. And if you want to go check out Aaron, who is probably the #1 content creator for VGC, you can go check him out. All his links will be in the description down below as well. And of course, feel free to leave a comment. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Thank you all for tuning in. Have a great day, people. I will catch you around in another video.